off. Time to get to work. All right, so we're gonna start on our backs. Get nice and comfy, get nice and cozy. Of course they like it better when you're there. Everyone likes it better when you're there. You don't yell at them and tell them what to do. So feet are flat on the mat. Belly button's in.
Wait, are you knitting people?
No, I'm not adding people. I'm just adjusting, making sure there's nobody else waiting. Feet are flat. Inhale, breathe into those ribs. Exhale. So we're going to do some quick breathing. Just get everything nice and loose. As you breathe in, you should notice your spine is realigning itself. Everything feels a little bit better. Belly button. They don't show up on photos. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Pull those knees into your chest. Fingertips reach out long towards the wall. Belly button's in. Curl your head, neck, and shoulders up. Look towards that belly button. Beat those arms. We inhale. 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale. 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale. 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale. 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale. Extend those legs to a good working level. Keep those belly buttons in. Keep that low back nice and flat. Keep beating those arms. Breathe as best you can. Inhale. 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale. 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale. 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale. Lift those heels straight to the ceiling. Reach up as high as you can on both ankles. Give those legs a pull towards you. Just stretch that low back. Stretch those hamstrings. Relax your head and neck as best you can. You grab me those bands off that floor. And then we're going to release the right leg. Take both hands to your left ankle. Curl your head, neck, and shoulders back up. Look towards that belly button. And switch. 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 And switch. Good. Stack both hands behind your head. Belly button's in your spine. Elbows are out nice and wide. Eyes stay on that belly button. Heels are together. Squeeze your glutes. Lower those legs down. And lift. Lower. And lift. Very nice. Lower. And lift. Lower. Lift. We've got 3 more. Lower. Lift. Lift. Last one. Lift and hold. Corkscrew. We're going to make a small circle on the ceiling to the right, followed by a small circle to the left for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Flex those toes down towards you. Lock those quads out. Relax your head and neck. Just hold. Try and press those heels to the ceiling. Get those hamstrings to stretch. We're going to hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Right knee comes into your chest. Left hand to right knee. Right hand to right ankle. Lift the head, neck, and shoulders. Look towards that belly button. And switch. 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 3, 2. And both knees come into your chest. Belly button stays in. Give those shins a nice hug. Hug, hug, hug. We're going to hold. We're going to do a couple breaths right here. So really inhale. Press that diaphragm against your thighs. Feel that low back open up. Exhale. Try and squeeze a little bit deeper. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Reach those legs out to a 45-degree angle. Arms go 45 degrees overhead. Belly button stays in your spine. And pull those shins back in. Good. Reach out. And in. Reach out. And in. Reach out. And in. Almost there. Reach out. Remember on that reach out, your low back stays flat to the ground. Reach all the way out. Don't let that low back lift. Don't let that belly button lift. Reach back in. Last time. Reach all the way out. And we hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Both hands come behind the head. Right knee comes into your chest. Left leg reaches out nice and long. Your right armpit is going to go to your left knee, and that is the only side that's going to move. So, and then return to center. So right armpit, left knee, return to center. Right armpit, left knee. Good. Just one side. Just one side. Yeah. Yes. 5, 4, 3, 2. Straight sides for 10. Good. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Both sides, alternating sides for 10. 9, 8. Very good. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and relax. Roll all the way up to that nice tall seated position. Yes, belly button's in your spine. Sit up nice and tall. Just a little bit of breathing here. Hands are going to come onto your ribs, so we're not going, not folding forward yet. So you want to inhale, fill those ribs all the way up. Exhale, squeeze those ribs together. Inhale, get some air in there. Exhale, pull your diaphragm so those ribs wrap in and around. Inhale, let them flare out. Exhale, wrap forward. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale one more time. Now we're going to exhale, round forward as far as you can. Inhale back to center, sit up nice and tall. Flex those feet back towards you. Belly button stays in your spine. Exhale, round forward. Inhale, sit up nice and tall. Good. Exhale, round forward. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, last time, round forward as far as you can. Stretch out the hamstring, stretch out the low back. On the plus side, you guys all brought your couches, so that'll make this next part a little bit easier. Well, not really the next part later on. Inhale, release, roll all the way to your back. Belly button stays into your spine. Chin comes to chest. Fingertips to ceiling. Legs are out nice and long. Boom, boom, boom. And roll all the way back up. I know, just what everyone didn't want to hear. And slowly roll back. Glutes are tucked under, one vertebrae at a time. And roll up. And when you get to the top, squeeze those glutes, flex those toes towards you. Slowly roll back, one vertebrae at a time. Chin to chest, roll all the way up. Roll up, 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 up. Yes, belly button to spine. Squeeze those glutes. Slowly roll back. You've only got to roll up one more time. That's the good news. Yes, and last one, roll all the way up. Excellent. Slide those heels out as wide as your hips. Hands come out to a T, belly button's into your spine. Inhale, grow nice and tall. Exhale, right pinky finger reaches across to left pinky toe. Inhale to center. Exhale to the opposite side. Inhale to center. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Last time to this side. Exhale, reach and twist for 10. 9. Keep those toes flexed towards you. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Inhale to center. Exhale to the opposite side and hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Inhale to center. We're going to roll all the way back and then turn over onto your stomachs. Belly button stays into your spine. Hands come underneath your shoulders as if you're going to do a push-up. Heels are together, toes are apart. Inhale, lift your head, neck, and shoulders. Look forward. Exhale, lower down. Remember, as you inhale up, what I want you to do is try and pull those shoulders down away from your ears. So from here, pulling down and back, opening everything up, and lowering back down. So inhale, lift, make those shoulder blades slide down. Exhale, lower. As you inhale and lift, you may notice the top of your traps start to stretch out. You may notice the bottom of your traps are squeezing together nice and tight. That's what we want. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. You may notice the chest stretching out, depending on how tight that is. Exactly what we're going for. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Stack your hands underneath your forehead. Belly button's in your spine. You're getting ready for a nap. Squeeze your heels together as tightly as you can. And we're going to curl those heels right to your butt. And then reach away. Good. And then curl in. So in this position, belly button's in nice and tight. Ribs are coming down to your belly button. Your glutes are squeezing so that your pelvis is almost trying to touch the floor. So those hamstrings should get a nice turn on. The quad should be stretching a little bit. The hamstring should be starting to work. Nothing too crazy. Just letting you know they're back there. Letting you know that they need some movement. 2 more. Curl in. Last one, reach away, curl in, squeeze those heels together. Using only your glutes, lift those knees off the mat. Go ahead, lift, 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 lift. Try and keep those abs in tight. If you notice your whole body is trying to lift, it means those quads are really tight, those hip flexors are really tight. They're not wanting to go anywhere. Lift and lift, hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release. Take that right heel, bring it into your glute. Take your right hand to your right ankle. Just give it a little stretch as best you can. Good. Good, good, good. Breathe in. Try and keep that right glute as active as possible. That'll keep that hip flexor open. That'll keep that quad stretching just a little bit more. Sort of. Okay. And then slowly release that right leg. And then take that left hand to that left ankle. Hold on nice and tight. Breathe in, left glute's nice and active. And slowly release that left leg. Bring both hands underneath your shoulders as if you're going to push yourself up to do a push-up, because you are going to push yourself up to a good active plank. So go ahead, press up to that active plank position, belly button's in. Step your right foot all the way up to your right hand. Once we're here, you may want to look back just so you can see where I am. We're going to do a modified version of the stretch that we're about to do. So you're going to be in, everyone's in the right spot. We're here, that leg is up. We're going to start, elbow down, elbow to the sky. That part is normal. The second part, you're going to go elbow down, and when you reach, you're going to actually reach around, and then thread back through, and then around. So your first movement is regular. We're going to go through that, and then we'll go into that second movement. So go ahead, reach that right arm all the way up to the sky, and then bring the elbow to the inside of your leg for 10. Good. Inhale, sweep up. 9. Inhale. 8. 7. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. And 1. Now reach all the way towards your couch, towards the door. And then you're going to reach up and around, and then bring the elbow through. So as you come around the body, everyone kind of wants to go outside the leg. I want you to think about threading it inside the hip and down to the knee, down to the floor if you can. Yes. Good. So you'll notice you have to twist a little bit both ways. You should notice both obliques firing up. The hip should be firing up. Keep that left glute nice and active. Good. 3. 2, all the way around. Last 1. And then bring that hand back to the floor. Step your right foot back, and then bring that left leg forward. Belly button stays in. Left elbow comes to the inside of your left foot. Left hand lifts all the way to the ceiling for 10. Good. Remember, inhale as you twist and open. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, twist. Exhale, lower. Inhale, twist. Exhale, lower. Inhale, twist. Exhale, long. Inhale, twist. Exhale. Last one. Inhale, twist. Exhale. And now you reach up, around, thread that leg through the hip crease, back to the floor. Reach up, around, thread all the way around. Good. So we get a nice big circle. As you reach towards the sky, try and get that nice big inhale and then thread through on the exhale. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Bring that hand back to the floor. Step that left leg back. Belly button stays in. I'm getting yelled at on this side. Belly button's in. We're in that good active plank position. Just hanging out. We're enjoying our time here. We're thinking about all the positive things that we're thinking about me right now. How awesome you guys are finding me in this moment. It's all about me today. Not really. And then go ahead and lower those knees down. Bring those hips back over top of your heels. We're going to that good active recovery position. We're going into our child's pose. Stretching out that low back. We're going to focus on our breathing for the next 30 seconds. We're going to be here. So I want you to inhale as much as you can into that low back. Exhale, squeeze those ribs together nice and deep. Inhale and exhale. 30 seconds. Just try and get those ribs to move. Try and get that low back to adjust a little bit. If you're watching the video, don't, because I'm just trying to adjust the camera so I can get in the position for the next spot. Good, right there. All right. And then what I'm going to have you guys do is come back to that all four position, but I want you all to turn around so that you can put your leg on the couch when I tell you to. So from a kneeling position, you should be able to reach your leg back. We're going into a couch stretch. So where we are going to end up, as best I can show you on this, it's a little bit too high. Position similar to this. Your knee will be on the ground, but we're not going there yet. So I want you to be able to reach the, did you see that, Sharon, or no? Okay, so I want you to be able to reach it. You don't need to reach onto it just yet, but we do want to be able to reach it when the time comes. So first thing I'm going to have you do, step your right foot all the way forward, right by that left hand. Left knee's on the ground. Yep, good. Right foot's forward. Yep, come up to that half kneeling position. Belly button's in your spine. All we're going to do right here is squeeze that left glute as tight as you can. We're just going to hang out here. That's it. We're going to really work on opening up those quads and hips today. So the good news is you're going to feel nice and loose through the hip flexors, nice and loose through the quads for the rest of the day. The bad news is we're doing some holding in some very uncomfortable positions. I'm still not sure if I'm supposed to say those things out loud, but I do, and it makes me feel better. I don't know. That's all I had for that. So squeeze that glute as tightly as you can. Take your left hand, bring it to your right knee. Yep, rotate across the body. Yes, just like that. And you're not really going for that deep twist. So don't reach back yet. You're going for a subtle twist because we're going to be here for a full, basically 90 seconds. So it'll be 30 seconds like this. Then you're going to reach that hand all the way back, and we're going to go for a full minute there. When we add that extra twist, I want you to focus on the breathing a little bit more. So right here, you're just getting that hip to release, just getting that hip to relax. And now you're going to reach that right hand all the way back. Stretch out as far as you can. Those fingertips are trying to touch that wall behind you. As you inhale, you're opening the right side of your lungs. As you exhale, you're squeezing that left oblique. And squeeze deeper. Try and get that rotation as much as you can. If you can, while you're there, just add a little twist to your hand. So rotate it up and rotate it down while it's in that back position. You're going to notice that one of those spots feels okay. One of those spots may feel really tight. If you want to stay in that really, really tight spot, you can, or you can keep moving back and forth depending on how tight that tight spot is, but just keep moving. Just reach, go to what feels the most beneficial for you in that hand, in that wrist, in that forearm, in that elbow, in that bicep, in that shoulder. Ten more seconds here. Keep breathing. Now for part one of the tricky part. You're going to bend that left knee, take that right hand to that left ankle as best you can. If you need to turn so that you can hold on to the couch so you don't fall over, by all means do that. I'd rather you have balance first. So reach back as best you can. Grab that ankle. Yep. Find your happy place. Maybe. Maybe. That's fine. You can go to the couch. There you go. And hold as best you can. Good, good, good. It's good. You have tight quads. You're gonna be feeling this a lot. Unfortunately, that's why we're doing this, because a lot of people are tight through their quads. We're not moving as much as we want to. I mean, it's what's happening during the quarantine. Not as many people are going as many places. We're not getting those hips moving. We're not getting those quads moving. We're doing a lot more sitting than we normally do. And those quads are going to get tight really, 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 really fast. By the time we get to that, it's called a couch stretch, by the time we get to that stretch, those hips should feel good enough where it won't feel like we're tearing the hip flexors apart, we're tearing the quads apart. If it does, we really need to focus on foam rolling and compressing those quads as much as we possibly can, because we need that to loosen up a little bit. And slowly release. Now scoot back so that right ankle goes on the couch. Left leg is all the way forward, so you're in a deep lunge position. Oh, did I say that backwards? The left leg. Whichever knee was just down should be the one that's on the couch. Yeah, I said it backwards. That was all me. That was all me. Yeah. So the leg that was just down is the one that's up on the couch as best you can, and then that right foot is forward, so you're in that deep lunge. Yeah. No. So bring it that half kneeling position, Audrey. Yeah. There you go. So for you, this one's gonna be really, really, really tight, and you may have to bring that knee down. If it's too much, bring the knee back down. Yeah. So if you're in that position and that quad feels like it's ripping, then that's not good. But we have to go where we have to go. Yep. And if you need to, you can lower your chest down just a little bit to take some of the stretch out of there. Good. Good. If you need to, so it looks like Chris's knee is off the ground. If it is, you can use the arm of the couch and just stand up high. So I'll spin this around real quick. So if you absolutely needed to, and again, this is too low for this. Imagine you're on the couch, this, drop down a little bit. It'll get the same spot, but it makes it a lot easier on that quads. This is not getting as open. Good. Keep breathing while we're here. Yeah, there you go. There's modifications for everything. And then slowly take that leg off that couch. And now we step that left foot forward and the right knee goes back. So now you're back on that right knee. Left foot's planted. We're just squeezing the right glute. So the plus side is you're into the easy stretch. Squeeze that right glute, half kneeling position, chest is up nice and high, belly button stays in. Just looking forward, squeezing the right glute. We're not twisting yet. We're just hanging out, having a good time. Admiring whatever's on the wall in front of you or whatever's in front of you. Getting ready for your Friday. Thinking of how awesome those quads are going to feel in a couple seconds. Now we're going to take that right hand, bring it to your left knee. And it's that subtle twist. You're just twisting a little bit. You're still squeezing that right glute as best you can. Good. Just hanging out here. We're not getting fancy with it yet. Remember, when I tell you to make that reach, that's where we add our breathing. So right now you're just focusing on not falling over. You're just focusing on how tight that leg is, trying to get it to release as much as possible. The more you can squeeze that glute, the faster that leg will stretch. And now we go ahead and reach that left arm all the way back. As you're here, inhale into the left side of your lungs, exhale into the right oblique. Inhale, exhale. You can add that twist into your hand as well. So rotate it up, rotate it down. Really get that wrist to move, get that forearm to move. If you notice that you get to a certain position, let's say you're here, and that forearm feels really tight, you can always flex the fingertips down and lift the fingertips up. So it'll help to stretch out that spot. Or if you notice that just rotating feels better, whatever is the best way to get through the next 30 seconds is what we want. We want those shoulders to open up. Everything moves in one giant chain. Still squeezing that right glute, still holding that belly button in, still breathing as best we can. Now for the tricky part, you're going to take that left hand to your right ankle this time. So you're going in for that deep stretch, deep twist. You go where your body allows you to go. We're not going to the couch yet, so that's the next part. If you have to, so Audrey, you're fine there. What I would do is I would say make that twist a little bit less for you, Audrey, so that you can balance a little bit more, and we start to get that stretch because your quads are really, really, really tight. I'm pretty sure you have a foam roller, and I'm like 90% sure you need to use that on their squats. It will not be pleasant. One thing that I think my child, I can make her get it for me. I think I've showed you guys before. I had that big PVC pipe, and I use that, and I basically lay on that for like 30 seconds per spot. I've been doing it long enough where 30 seconds will cause that to kind of pulse and release. But for you guys, depending on how tight you are, it may take a little bit longer. It is not going to be pleasant. I'm not going to dress this up and tell you it's going to be awesome. It's going to suck a lot, but you will feel a ton better when you're done. And now we bring that foot to the couch as best you can. Get that nice deep stretch. Try and step that left leg a little bit more forward if possible. Really bring that chest up nice and high. If you're in that position and the chest being high makes that feel like it's going to rip, bring your chest down a little bit. Brace on your front leg. If you have to, you can always go up to the arm of the couch too. Just 60 seconds here. Keep moving as best you can, or keep breathing as best you can, not moving. Try and stay as stable as possible. Last 10 seconds here. And go ahead, bring those hands down to the mat. Take that ankle off the mat. We're going to step both legs forward, and then we're going to lift those hips up. So you'll be in that forward fold stretch. Hands are on the ground or as best they can. Hips are up in the air. Good. We're going to release that low back. So what you may notice here from all the pulling on those hip flexors, this may feel absolutely amazing on your low back, because when your hip flexors and quads are that tight, if your pelvic bone is normally supposed to be like this, and of course this isn't to scale, but if the front side of your body is really, really tight, it pulls your pelvic bone forward. If the back side of your body is really, really tight, it pulls your pelvic bone backwards. So when you think about what that position is, you have that sway back where you have that really big exaggerated arch back there, and I realize you guys can't see that. You're going to have pain, and it's usually going to come from tight hip flexors, tight quads. If we get that to loosen up, that hip flexor will, the pelvic bone will actually sit in the right spot. If your hamstrings are too tight, it actually pulls you the other way, and it pulls your butt underneath, and then you're basically holding too much back there, and that's why that low back will start to hurt. And then go ahead, walk those hands all the way out on your mat, so you're back in that nice long plank position. Lower all the way down to your chest. Excellent. Stack that right hand underneath your forehead. Left hand's going to reach back and grab your left ankle. So you should notice there's a little bit more room in that hamstring, in that quad. Wow, way off. Good. Good. Belly button stays in. Good. Breathe. Make sure you're keeping that glute nice and tight. Open up those hips. You should notice there's a lot more room in here. Go ahead, release that leg. Switch legs. And hold. There we go. Someone's a little bit tight. Bitty, bitty tight. Again, I grabbed my scraper. Breathe nice and deep. Try and relax as much as you can. I know those quads are tight, but that's what we got to do. And release that leg. Bring both hands back underneath your shoulders. Step yourself up to that good step yourself up. Press yourself up to that good active plank position one more time. Good. Step your right foot all the way to your right hand. And then we're going to lift that chest up so we're staying in that low position. So don't straighten out your right leg yet. And then we're going to bend that left knee down. Try and touch the left knee just above the ground, and then lift. Lower and lift. Lower and lift. 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 Last one. Lift all the way up. Straighten out that right leg. Fold forward. Try and touch those right toes or that right heel, whatever you can get to. Yeah, as best you can. Good, good, good. You got it. Yep. Twist. Keep the chest forward and then fold forward. Try and touch. Yeah, you guys got it. Boom. Nailed it. Here. Reach on down. I don't know how tight that hamstring is. That may inhibit your stretch. It will inhibit your stretch. Let's be honest. If you're not warmed up, then that'll feel really interesting when you try and do that stretch. Never I think Miss Pat is bribing my child with something. Makes me nervous. Go ahead, lift all the way up. Good. Switch your feet. Step that right leg back. Step your left leg forward. Yes, show me what you saw. And then bend that knee down towards the mat. Remember, it doesn't touch. Oh, wow, it's a big stick bug. And lift. Of course they are. Lift. Lift. There's basically a stick bug the size of my tire on my car right now. It's delightful. Lift. That's what Ava had to come show me. A picture of a massive stick bug. These things are aliens. They're too big. Last one. Lift all the way up. Straighten out that left leg. Reach down. Touch those toes. Or as best you can. So the other day I leave here and there's a stick bug stuck to the back windshield of my car. Just hanging out. I drive down 1604. I go to the gas station. I go home. I leave my house. I have to go to the grocery store. I leave the grocery store. It's still there. I drive all the way home. Still on there. So I just left it. I didn't want to bother him because he's strong enough to survive all that. And I figured he would eat me. Or I would eat him. And Ava frowns on me eating stick bugs. So. A few more seconds here. Hamstrings should be feeling really nice. Low back should be feeling really nice. Ideally, we're getting nice and loose in here. And then go ahead, lift all the way up. Step that right leg back or left leg back. Both legs back and together. You're going to walk yourself back out to that plank. Lower yourself all the way back down to your chest. Bring your right arm out. We're going to make that goal post. Belly button's in. Left hand can go underneath your forehead. Left arm can go out nice and long. We're going into our scorpion. So that left heel is going to lift all the way up to the ceiling and then kick all the way to the right side of your body. So perfect world scenario, since we've stretched out those quads and those hip flexors, this should feel a lot better than it normally does. You should notice your range of motion is a lot better than it normally is. If it is, great. If it's not, we know we have a lot more work to do in this area. As we're here, I want you to focus on that breathing. So inhale into the left side, exhale, squeeze that right oblique. Inhale left, exhale, squeeze. Good. Focus on your breathing, focus on that movement, try and get that leg to open up as much as possible. Every time you inhale, you should almost notice that hip wants to rise, and when you exhale, it should sink a little bit deeper. We're using your diaphragm to make space through one, through your internal organs, two, through those deep abdominal muscles, through the hip flexors, through the hip joint itself. Use the air and the musculature the way that's supposed to be used. Get things stretching, get things moving. 20 more seconds here. Nice deep breathing. Big part of our breathing is it also should de-stress the body. The more air you can get in the body, the less stress and anxiety you have. That's why deep breaths are always recommended when people are stressed out. Go ahead, take a deep breath. It does something amazing to your system. Slowly roll back to center. Good. Let that left leg just reset for a second. Take your left hand, bring it to a goalpost. Take that right leg, kick it all the way up and over. Right arm can go out nice and straight. Right arm can come underneath your shoulder. Right arm can go on your forehead. Wherever you have to get it to go. You go where you go. Remember, you're inhaling into the right, exhaling into the left this time. Inhale right, exhale left. 60 seconds. One thing I have to get better at doing, I think I told you guys, started listening to, because I don't read anything anymore. I'm too bougie for reading. I actually just do Audible. I started listening to What Doesn't Kill Us. It's a book about breathing, cold exposure, heat exposure. It's actually all about this journalist's experience with Wim Hof. And he has some really good points about breathing and what it does to your body and how just basic breathing can decrease anxiety and stress. And just breathing itself can allow your muscles to relax and release. So I have to get better about linking the books that I've been listening to for you guys. So on the plus side, I've got another book for you to listen to. And slowly bring that leg back to center. Good. Let both of those hips reset. Now this is gonna be one of the harder stretches. We've done it before. It's not super complicated. I'm gonna have you flex both glutes, curl both knees, reach back, grab both ankles. So you're gonna be in a bow position if we're in yoga. Both hands are back. Both ankles are being grabbed onto. Yep, Sharon's got it. If you can see her little square over there. Yep, there you go. I know, that's why I said it was gonna be hard. Audrey, for you, if you have a yoga strap, you can wrap it around both ankles and pull it towards you, or a towel, or even a blanket. Like if you got a blanket right there, yeah. So the tighter your quads, this is where stuff comes in. So you guys know from training with me, I'm not a huge fan of using gear and equipment and things like that. But there's just sometimes you absolutely need to use stuff. Please be careful as you go down, because I see this ending poorly. Okay, good. Literally, I'm having anxiety in the park because of what I just saw. For those of you who are watching the recording, you won't be able to see this, but she was on her knees, the towel wrapped around, and both hands were back. And to get to her stomach, my first thought was her face was going down. So breathe in, squeeze those glutes. Sometimes you just need stuff to get into position. Eventually, you'll get loose enough where that won't be the issue. And there's going to be two things that are going to stop you from getting into position here. If your traps are really tight and your chest is really tight, okay, make that three things. Traps are tight and your chest is tight, it'll pull everything up here, which makes your arms shorter. If you think about it, if you pull your hands up and try and put your hands in your pockets, you can't reach it. But if you relax those shoulders, all of a sudden your hands can go in your pockets. If your quads are really tight, that means you can't flex them around as much. If you can't flex them around as much, also that's going to stop you. So if you're tight here and tight in your quads, you're almost never going to make it there. And go ahead, slowly release. Excellent. Press yourself up into that good active plank one more time. I know, we're loving our planking. Walk those hands back all the way towards your toes. Hips go to the sky. Yes. Hang out here in that forward fold for a couple seconds. As best you can. And then walk those hands all the way back out into our plank position. We've got 3 push-ups coming up. And we push up for 3 and 2 and 1. Walk those hands all the way back to those toes. Hips go up, hamstrings are stretching out. Slowly walk those hands back out into that plank position. 3 more push-ups. We push up for 1 and 2 and 3. Walk those hands all the way back. 1 round to go. Hang out here for a couple seconds. Feel those hamstrings release. Feel those calves release. Wiggle your toes just a little bit. See if the arches of your feet are really, really tight. If they are, that's okay. We just now know that we need to spend more time working on that. Walk those hands all the way back out. Last 3 push-ups. 1, 2, 3. Holding that plank position. Lift those hips up to the sky. Push the heels down and back. And then bring your chest back over your hands. Lift those hips up. And bring them back down. Yes. Lift. And lower. 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 Last time. Lift those hips up. We're going to hang out here for 30 seconds. Boom. Perfect. Nice stretch through those hamstrings, nice stretch through those calves. Try and press your heels down as much as you can. Each one of us is going to have a different range of motion through those heels. Each one of us is going to have a different range of motion through our arches, through our hamstrings. We want to see what is the tightest spot in that whole area, because that's the spot we want to stretch. Sometimes your hamstring flexibility is not based solely on your hamstrings. It's based on your calves, your low back, your glutes. So if you're here and you notice there's a bunch of things feeling like they're firing up, or you feel like there's one thing that's really stopping you from getting into a good position, that's perfectly okay. Go ahead and lower your chest all the way back down to your mat. And roll back to your back. Excellent. Feet are flat on the mat, belly button's in nice and tight. Now we should notice we're gonna do some hip bridges. What we should see is a little bit more range of motion through those hips, because those quads are looser, those hip flexors are looser. So I'm gonna have you guys squeeze those glutes really tight. You're not gonna lift yet. Tuck your pelvic bone under as much as you can. Belly button's in. Drive through those heels, lift those hips all the way up, press towards the sky. Good. And now hold that glute position. So really try and squeeze the glutes in tighter if possible. Lift the pelvic bone a little bit more. Tuck the tailbone underneath and slowly roll down. Yes. And bridge those hips back up. Once we get to the top, we want to reset everything. So really squeeze those glutes. Tuck the pelvic bone in. Pull the belly button in. Slowly roll down. Very nice. Lift all the way up. Squeeze. Tuck. Scoop. And roll. 2 more like this. Bridge. Squeeze. Tuck. Scoop. Roll. Last one. And of course, I have to add something to it after this last one. So go ahead, bridge all the way up. Squeeze those glutes. Tuck that tailbone. Scoop those abdominals. Roll all the way down. And now we're going to add breathing to it, because you didn't have enough stuff to concentrate on. So now we're going to add more. So go ahead, bridge those hips all the way up. Squeeze those glutes. Scoop those abdominals. Take a nice big inhale with the abdominals staying as scooped as possible. Exhale. Once all the air is out of your lungs, then slowly roll all the way down. Good. Squeeze those glutes, bridge those hips. Belly button's in. Lift up, squeeze, tuck, scoop, inhale all the air. Exhale it all out and slowly roll down. As you exhale, hold that air out of your lungs. You should notice the spine is pulling a little bit more. Muscles along the spine are stretching a little bit more. Bridge those hips back up. Squeeze those glutes. Tuck the tailbone. Scoop the abdominals. Inhale all of the air that you can. Exhale it all out. Squeeze those ribs together. Squeeze those diaphragms together. And slowly roll down. Perfect. One more time. Bridge those hips. Squeeze the glutes. Tuck the tailbone. Inhale all the air. Exhale it all out. And slowly roll down. Good. Keeping your right foot where it is, bring your left knee into your chest. And we're going to wrap the inside of your right elbow around the left knee. So you're going to be stretched all the way across. Think about hugging. Yes. You're going to give it a big hug. You're going to get as deep as you can. So if you can go over the top, go over the top. If you have to go behind the knee, go behind the knee. Try and pull it across the midline of your body too. So you want to think about, if this is your knee and it's normally right here, I want to grab that and pull it to the center of my chest, if possible, all the way over to the opposite side. Should feel that glute stretching out a little bit. Should feel your low back stretching out a little bit. Now that we're all in position, we're going to add some breathing to it. So I want you to inhale as deep as you can into your low back. So you feel that low back start to stretch. Exhale, try and sink that arm a little bit deeper across the leg. Try and pull it in a little bit deeper into your body. So every inhale, I want you to think about creating more space through your abdomen. Every exhale, I want you to pull that leg in tighter. Go ahead, inhale. Exhale, very nice. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, nice and deep. All the air you possibly can. Force all that air out of your lungs and hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Cross that left ankle over your right knee. And then drop both legs towards the right side. So you're in that nice deep hip stretch. What we should notice here with that little previous stretch that we did, you have a little bit more room through the glute. You should notice the outside of your quad is stretching a little bit more. The oblique is stretching a little bit more. Ideally, since we spent some time loosening up those quads, you've got tons of space in that quad and it's isolated mostly to your oblique, maybe a little bit to your low back. But in reality, it could be the outside of your quad, your glute, your low back, obliques, your ribs. Even your left shoulder may feel like there's a little bit of stretch in it, depending on how tight it is. As I said before, perfect world, none of it's stretching. You're just hanging out, having a good old time, thinking about what you need from the grocery store later. Because you want to go out in public with everyone else. I know you're excited for that. Go ahead, take that left leg, stretch it all the way out to the right side. So make it as straight as you can. Yes, you should notice that stretch gets a lot deeper in that glute. Yes. Breathe in nice and deep. Everything's moving well. Low back should be opening up. Ribs should be moving around a little bit. The goal is, as we start working on that breathing, just as a reference point for everybody, I know I've said it before, but as you inhale, we want to be able to see more space created in those ribs. As we exhale, we want to be able to see the actual contraction of the diaphragm. Think about any other muscle that you contract. You watch a bicep go from being long to being short. You can see the flexion there. Same with any other muscle that we have. We want to be able to work on that same thing with our diaphragm. We want to be able to inhale and feel those ribs slide out, feel space be created, and then exhale, pull it all together, make it as small as possible. As we get better at that, the muscles in between your ribs will actually get better at moving. And the better they are at moving, the better you'll be at breathing. Because if those muscles are really, really stuck, you literally cannot expand your lungs and your ribs the way that you need to. And slowly bend that left knee, return back to center. Now your left foot goes flat on the mat, right knee comes into your chest. The inside of that left elbow is going to come around the left knee, or right knee, or behind the knee if you need to. And then just get yourself set. You go to a good, happy spot. Once everyone's in position, we're going to hang out here for a couple seconds. Let that glute release. And now we add the breathing. Inhale nice and deep. Exhale, try and pull it deeper. Inhale nice and deep. Exhale, try and pull it deeper. So remember, you're trying to work on inhaling all that air in, decompressing your low back, decompressing the muscles in your hips, getting everything to move as best it can. Nice big inhales, nice big exhales. Inhale. Exhale, try and sink deeper. Here's our last inhale. Fill those lungs all the way up with air, as much air as you could possibly get. Exhale, squeeze that leg in as much as you can for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Take that right ankle across your left knee. Drop those legs to the left side. Perfect. Boom, boom, boom. There may be a difference in how each side feels. It's 100% normal. Belly button stays in. Get that good stretch. Again, depending on how much tighter one side is than the other, you may notice different muscles are tight on this side. You may notice it more in your glutes, more in your obliques, more in your quads on this side than the other side. That's okay. We just need to be aware of what's tight so we can make it better. Breathe in nice and deep. Nice relaxing breaths. So if it's painful or uncomfortable in this position, the hardest thing to do is to breathe nice and smooth, but that's the one thing you need to do. The more jagged your breathing is, the more your body wants to contract against the pain. The more relaxed your breathing is, the more your body is willing to stretch into the pain. So there's two ways to decrease pain. One, pull your hand away. Two, get rid of the tight thing. So what we want to do is get rid of the tight thing and not pull the stretch away. Still breathing, still holding that stretch. Nice and slowly reach that right leg all the way out straight as far as you can reach it. Trying to kick your neighbor, trying to kick your wall, trying to kick anything really. It's just not good for business. We don't kick around here. We're nice people, theoretically. And remember, there's no designated way for breathing. Just breathe in nice and deep. Exhale, release it all. Breathe in deep. Exhale, release it all. Want to get as much air in those lungs as possible. Get your body to relax. Start the day as stress-free as possible. Last thing you want to do is start out all stressed out. We don't do stress. "30 more seconds here. Just hanging out. Think about the muscle that you feel that is really tight right now. Just think about relaxing it as much as possible. I know that's what you're trying to do, and I know that's where everyone's head goes. Like, I'm trying. But really try and relax, try and get it to stretch. Try and think about breaking down each part of your body so it starts to relax around it. So if you notice something else is trying to hold you out of that stretch, release it a little bit. Let it go into that stretch. Slowly bend that right knee. Bring yourself back to center. Go ahead and roll all the way up to a seated position. And you guys survived again. So big things I would focus on, if you saw your quads are really, really tight, foam roll them. It's not going to be pleasant. If you have time right now, now would be the time to do it because you're nice and warm, you're nice and loose. It'll release a little bit. It'll release a little bit more than what it would if you try to do it later today. But if later today is when you have time, that's fine. Don't overcomplicate your foam rolling. If it's 30 seconds now and 30 seconds 3 hours from now, great. As long as it gets done, it helps the muscle release. A lot of times people are like, well, I need to dedicate this much time to doing something. No, 1 to 2 minutes now, 1 to 2 minutes later. The more times that you can do it, it's more about frequency when it comes to foam rolling, massages, especially in the beginning when something's really, really tight, because you're always keeping it contracted. So if you can start getting it to relax more times throughout the day, it will relax faster throughout the day versus, okay, I'm going to foam roll now because I have a half hour to do it. And then I'm not going to foam roll again until Tuesday because that's the next half hour I have dedicated to that. So even if it's a minute here and a minute there, 2 minutes of foam rolling multiple times throughout the day goes a very, very long way. So thank you guys. I will see you tomorrow because tomorrow is Saturday and we have conditioning. Are you guys both at the park next on Saturday?
Yeah. What do we need?
You're going to need everything for tomorrow.
Okay.